What's up, guys? Alfredo here with Mike Mejia, producer on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Mike, we're going to take a look at the created class.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Man, there's a lot of new things to talk about, so let's just dive right in.
Right, so we've completely redesigned how the created class system works in Advanced Warfare. We're inspired by what Black Ops 2 and Treyarch introduced within Black Ops 2, which was the Pick 10 system. It's a fan favorite, so we brought that back and we've actually expanded upon it. And one of the first things that you'll notice is we've actually introduced score streaks into the pick system.
Okay.
So now you can actually select up to 13 slots within your pick 10 system here in your created class. And the first thing you'll notice here is the score streaks. You can now add up to 4 score streaks by the use of a wild card.
Awesome.
There's my wild card. I can pick another score streak here, like the remote turret.
Right.
Or for the first time ever, I can actually go with no score streaks and then use those points for, you know, other things, like I can load up on attachments.
Right.
I can load up on you know, more perks if I'd like to add more perks.
I like that. I'm not a score streak guy.
Yeah, you know, some people are not. Some people are like, you know, I just want to get kills. I want to go in there. But you know, if sometimes you want to just go in with maybe 1 score streak, you now have the flexibility to do that. And that's kind of why we designed it this way. We wanted players to have more flexibility with their selections and how they can customize their loadouts.
Right. There's even a great amount of depth in score streaks now, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good point to raise. So here's kind of a loadout here. We're gonna pick with 1 score streak because, you know, I'm only gonna load out with this 1 score streak on this one. I know that I'm gonna, you know, get pretty close to getting 600 score to get this score streak. Once I select that, now I can further customize this. We introduced this new element called customizable score streak. With the press of a button, I can go into this module menu, and I can actually select different modules that will change the behavior and give the score streak even more functionality. Now, that comes with an added cost, though. So, for example, you know, here's a rippable module. If I add this to my score streak, the points just now got raised to 700. Right, so, if I add more functionality to it, like the rocket turrets, that adds more costs.
And we could add all of those if we wanted to, right?
Well, right now we're actually, you know, you can only in this part of the demo we can add 3. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're always paying attention to balance. So while we're giving players customization, we also want to strike, you know, that balance and make sure that everything's balanced. Because if it's not balanced, it's not competitive, and then obviously, you know, it's not fun if it's not competitive, right? So.
Something I noticed is that it doesn't count towards my pick 13 when I add those on.
Yeah, which is really cool. So with the flexibility of the pick 10 or the pick 13 system, you can now go in here and customize your score streaks, and you don't really have to worry about that counting against your slots.
I like that. And so we've got a bunch of perks, a bunch of new perks.
Yeah, new perks. So we have you know, we have some fan favorites returning. Let me take some of these off and go in here. So we have like lightweight, we have low profile, you know, and flakjack is another example.
That you know, the veterans are used to.
Yeah, exactly. But we want to introduce some new perks that were kind of centered around the EXO. So here's a great example. It's called the Overcharged EXO perk. And this essentially extends your EXO ability battery. Every ability in the game that is player selected will have a battery. And, you know, that has a certain amount of lifespan on it, right? But if you select this one, it would actually extend that battery lifetime. So
if I want to hover longer,
or if you wanted to cloak just a little bit longer, you would select this overcharge perk. We got other perks, like brand new perks like the gun hoe perk. This allows you to fire while you're sprinting and sliding. It's pretty awesome, actually. If you're a guy that's like really run and gun style, it's a great perk to load out with.
Shotgun guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Then we actually have another interesting perk that's, you know, part of the EXO system too, is the blast suppressor. So as you've seen by now, all the EXO movement in the game is pretty dynamic. You can boost jump, you can boost dodge, you can do a lot of interesting things to combo those things up. You can boost slide as well. But every time you use one of that, it'll show up on the mini map. You know, it'll show your location. So if you kind of wanted to, you know, suppress that a little bit, you can go in with this perk called the blast suppressor, and it will cause you basically to not show up on the player's mini maps when you're using those.
I think that's going to be a favorite because I see everyone just boosting around. I don't think anyone really notices yet that, you know, you show up on radar.
Yeah. I actually, you know, myself, if I know that I'm going to be moving around a lot, you know, I'll either load up with this one, but it comes at a cost, right? I'm picking 1 slot for that. But, you know, and in this case, I would want a UAV instead, so I can go in here and pick a UAV and maybe get something else, like, you know, an additional, you know, perk up here, for example, right?
Right. And so we've been introduced to the exosuit, and now let's kind of dive into the exo abilities real quick.
Yeah, so we've completely retooled the lethal and tactical deployment in the game. Right now, we have the exo ability here selected. It's called the exo shield. That is now, I can go in here and can select any one of these exo abilities. And these are what I mean by being battery powered. These are player selected abilities that augment your exo. So for example, I can select this one, I can hover in place for a short duration, or I can select this one here and actually cloak. For short duration. And you still have your lethal and your tacticals. That's part of the exo launcher, as you can see here. I select
part of your pick 13.
Yeah, part of my pick 13, and I can now everything's mixed in here. I can select my smoke from here. I can select my EMP, my tacticals, or my lethals like frag. We also have some new ones like the spike drone. New tactical called the threat grenade that actually shows enemies through walls. So it's pretty cool. And here's another one called the tracking drone that actually tracks enemy players and highlights them.
Interesting. Okay. So just real quick before we go ahead and wrap up, I just want to take a quick look at some elite like firepower, like some elite weapons.
So let me show you that real quick here. We're gonna walk you through some of our new weapons that we have in the game. Obviously, we have the base weapons here, like my ball 27. So you'll still have your base weapons as ARs. But now through supply drops, I've unlocked weapon loot, and through supply drops, I've received this super awesome ball 27 elite. And you can see that it has damage stats, and it has different fire rates, and it has a completely different stat variation. So I'm going to select this guy.
It's like variants.
Yeah,
your favorite weapons.
Exactly. This is one of my favorites. And right here, I can go in here and I can still select all my different attachments for my weapons. So I actually like to roll out with this autofocus sight. It's new in the game. It's pretty cool. Maybe even put a laser sight on it and a light. I actually like to go like this.
Right. And I also saw they automatically equip the wild card as soon as you pick that third slot. That's a nice little addition.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch. We wanted to, we know players that usually are playing around with the creative class system, that we want to give them another flexibility with that. So if I just, no longer do you have to go in here, select the wild card, and then go all the way back. All you got to do is go over here, select this auto wild card. It'll put it right in, and I can just go in and pick what I want. So what's cool about this now is that now I can actually test this weapon out before I even jump into the game. With the press of a button from a creative class, I can select and go into the virtual firing range, which is what you're seeing right now. I can now go in here and check out my cool weapon that I unlocked. I can try a different scenario in the virtual firing range, check out how it works, check out the fire rate, check out everything about the weapon. I can even check out the attachment, like here's the autofocus sight. I can see how that functions. And it's a pretty cool place to actually check out all the new weapons and things like that.
Seems like you just do this on the fly, so that way you're not going in, ruining your KD, you're getting a real good feel for the new weapon.
And if you don't like something about the gun setup that you have in your loadout, just one button out, take something off, and go back in, one button. No load. This is all pre-match, pre-lobby. You're good to go.
Well, that's awesome, Mike. Thank you for showing us the new and improved creative class system.
No worries, thank you.
Guys, for more things Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, you already know where to go. You're in the right place, IGN.